In just a few moments' time, we are about to pass the halfway point already of the 2021 Asian Formula 3 Championship. Good afternoon and welcome to Yas Island, Yas Marina Circuit here in the United Arab Emirates in the capital of this incredible nation. This is, of course, Abu Dhabi. Well, in a few moments, the cars will come around onto the grid in preparation for race 7 of this 15-race series. We've already raced 6 times thus far this series. Last week at the Dubai Autodrome and 3 times with the double-header race thus far already here at Yas Marina. Before we do race this afternoon, let's check out the action from the first 3 races, round 2 of the Formula 3 Championship of Asia. Race 1 held 48 hours ago saw Jahan Daruvala for the Mumbai Falcons team from the front row of the grid go through into the lead. Dino Beganovic getting by his more illustrious teammate Guan Yu Zhou, who, remember, won the first 2 rounds of the series a week ago at the Dubai Autodrome. Jahan Daruvala under pressure from both Dino Beganovic and Isaac Hadja. Guan Yu Zhou did get back into second place. He was pressured throughout the race, but out front, no one could catch the Red Bull Junior from Mumbai, Jahan Daruvala, who took the victory in race 1, round 2, just a couple of days ago. From the front row of the grid in race 2, first of all, we had the Black Arts cars stalling at the back of the grid, Villa Gomez and Fluxa. Jahan Daruvala, a perfect start. Further back, well, not quite so clean. Isaac Hadja very briefly did take the lead for Evans GP. He showed possibly just that little bit too much respect. Dino on the outside made it 3 wide. A sensational battle. Guan Yu Zhou trying to join in as well. Jahan Daruvala withstood the pressure and would go on to take another fantastic victory, although Isaac Hadja would try again in the dying stages of race 2. Daruvala holding on and taking the checkered flag, round 2, race 2 here at Abu Dhabi. Isaac home in second place. A sensation at the start of race 3 when the 2 Evans GP cars went around Casper Stevenson and Irina Sidorkova. That was unfortunately the end of their weekend as they came together with Alessio Deleda. Meanwhile, from the front row of the grid, Guan Yu Zhou actually stalled the car, went back to last. Pierre-Louis Chauvet from pole position rocketed into the lead and would go on to win by 7 seconds, exactly as he did a week ago. The high-tech drivers in form yesterday, but out front Chauvet was absolutely unstoppable, taking his 2nd win of the series to move into within 1 point of the championship leader, who did finish 2nd, Jahan Daruvala, 95 points versus 94 for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. So we had qualifying this morning and Jahan Daruvala taking pole position for in both Q1 and Q2. He will line up in position 1, obviously, in just a few moments. The car's a couple of formation laps, installation laps. There is Chauvet to the right of your screen. We'll start out of grid 2. Once again, I'm delighted to be joined in commentary by Aditya Patel. Good afternoon, Aditya. This will be something else. We've already raced 3 times, but the big talking point in qualifying was the sand blowing in from the Arabian desert onto the circuit.
We did wake up to a really windy morning today. And that, of course, changed things for the teams, changed things for the drivers. There was not just the wind to deal with, there was also the sand blowing in, like you just said. And that made qualifying very, very tricky. But it was Jahan Daruvala for the Mumbai Falcons who came out on top, making it 2 out of 2 in qualifying. So he starts on pole today, and he also will start on pole for race 3 tomorrow. It's going to be an exciting race. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, we've seen how fast he can be. And what do you think he can do on the start? That's where the biggest worry can be, because he's had 1 good start, but he's struggled in 2.
Jahan Daruvala normally gets away quite well. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, notoriously difficult to get car 3 off the line, but yesterday he just launched it perfectly down into turn 1. He'll try and do the same in just a moment. We are going to cross down to the grid in just a moment to catch a word with a few drivers. Chauvet to the right of your screen, and I believe Jake is down with our pole sitter, Jahan Daruvala.
I certainly am, Ian. Yes, this is going to be a fantastic opportunity again for round 3 of this Asian Formula 3 Championship, and Jahan Daruvala to come off the first corner in the lead. Let's see how he's doing. Jahan, perfect qualifying this morning, double pole position. It looks like it could just be the same all over again.
Yeah, quality was good, but yeah, obviously I got myself in the best position to start the race. The goal is always to lead into turn 1, and then hopefully I can control the race from there.
So the track conditions have changed quite a lot compared to round 2 days ago. So how has that affected the setup of the car?
Yeah, it's a lot more tricky. There's a lot of wind now and the sand on track. So yeah, qualifying was also quite hard to put a lap together. I expect the race to be a lot more degradation than it was a couple of days ago.
Well, the mechanics need you more than I do, so I'll let you crack on. Thanks, Jahan. Amazing stuff, and yet again on pole position. He really does seem to have nailed this circuit. Now, second position on the grid is another of the championship protagonists, Pierre-Louis Chauvet. He really has been a revelation this weekend to step up and grab a second race victory of the season. Pierre-Louis, good to see you back here on the front row of the grid. We saw how quick you were off the line yesterday. Looks like it could be another strong weekend for you.
Yeah, I expect another strong round, so yeah, let's focus on the start as yesterday I did in race 3. It was quite good, and then we'll see the pace, but I think it will be a nice race.
And your understanding of the car seems to just be getting better and better with every time you go out on the circuit. The conditions have changed. Have you been able to adapt to that, ready for this first race?
Yeah, I think so. As you said, we already worked on this track for a complete round, so we are quite used to these temperatures and this track, so yeah, now let's race.
Sounds good to me, Pierre-Louis. Bonne chance.
Thank you very much.
So what can that man do from second on the grid? That's going to be very interesting. Now this, of course, is going to be the third and last round that we're going to see Dino Beganovic on the starting grid. He's there in 4th position on the grid beside the Chinese boy wonder Guan Yu Zhou. Let's have a word with the 2 Prema drivers ahead of this third round of the championship. Guan Yu, good to see you in 3rd position once again. How quick is that going to be to the run to the first corner? Can you make the jump?
I think the focus is obviously get a good start. Hopefully can make 1 move or 2, and it's going to be a long race with this hot temperature. So I think there will be some action in the race, and just definitely going to take full advantage of anything. Yeah.
Well, good luck ahead of the race, Guan Yu. Have a good one. So 3rd position on the grid. He's definitely one to keep an eye on off the start. The safety car's just gone around for its exploratory lap. I think we've just about got time to grab the super Swede Dynamite Dino himself. Dino Beganovic from 4th on the grid. Dino, a great chance in this race again from the 2nd row of the grid. What's your main focus heading into the first corner?
Just to get a good start as always, and yeah, we see what situation we are in, but just get a good start, keep the head down, try to push as much as possible in the beginning, and then we see during the race.
Well, hopefully this is going to be a solid end to your campaign in Asian Formula 3. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Of course, he's only going to be competing this 3rd round of the championship, and then that's pretty much it. And David Vidal, as the Spaniard, will take over the car. Let's come back to the 3rd row. We've just about got time, I think, to grab a word with the Israeli driver, Roy Nizani, who, of course, is the Williams development driver in Formula 1, but he's back where he belongs towards the front end of the field. Roy, good to see you back here in the 3rd row. It's right up at the front end, trying to compete for the victory. How's your focus heading to turn 1?
Well, better than being back there, I can promise you that. It's finally good to see the light down close and back where we belong, as you said. Looking forward for them to turn off and eyeing those guys ahead.
Well, hopefully it's another good one for you. Have a great race. So as Roy prepares from 5th position on the starting grid, over there is the boy to watch out for as well. Isaac Hajar will be starting from 6th position on the starting grid. We already know how feisty he can be in races. He's already given the big boys up front a massive run for their money. So what's going to happen in race 7 of the Asian Formula 3 Championship 2021? Your guess is as good as mine, boys.
We are watching Pierre-Louis Chauvet to the right of your screen. Yesterday, his start was superb. The team were telling us he got the best start ever. That includes his career in 2020 in the Formula Regional European Championship. The data, the telemetry overlaid 0 to 100 in exactly 3 seconds and just under 215 k's an hour from a standing start down into turn 1. Jahan Daruvala, he rarely makes mistakes, if ever. And he starts out of pole position. It will be fascinating. We just heard from Roy Nissany. Francesco, his personal trainer, doing the umbrella grid girl duties for Roy this afternoon. Roy is also very quick from the third row of the grid.
We also heard Zhu just say, well, I hope to make a move or two. And if he does make 2 moves, he doesn't have many more to make after that, doesn't he? That puts him in the lead. So let's see what Zhu can do from there. The last time we saw Zhu try to get off the line, he didn't. He just sat where he was.
Exactly. Yesterday in race 3 from grid 2, Guan Yu Zhou stalled. Would you believe he was almost hit by Irina Sidorkova, who would come to grief less than a lap later. He did rejoin back in last position and actually drove brilliantly up through the field to finish in 5th place. Certainly capable of taking a victory in 30 minutes time. Incidentally, Jahan Daruvala, yes, on pole position, and also the series leader on 95 points from Chauvet on 94. Guan Yu Zhou, 3rd on 90. Isaac Hadja, 79 points, and Dino, who is racing the 3 races here this weekend before he hands the 16 Prema Abu Dhabi racing car over to David Vidalis. Roy Nissany, 6th in the series, 53 points from Ayumu Iwasa, who had a 4th place finish yesterday. Patrick is 8th on 23 alongside Chem Bolapasi, and Reese Ushijima 10th in the series on 18 points. So we're about to pass the halfway point of the series. Great to have your company wherever you are watching us live all around the world from the Yas Marina Circuit on Yas Island here in incredible Abu Dhabi.
As we just hear the cars fire up, about to start their warm-up lap, we have another 30-minute race today. All the drivers are on tires with similar mileage, so that means there's not going to be too much strategy up and down the field. There are no pit stops in this race. It's 30 minutes to the checkered flag. It's honestly anybody's game out front. We're seeing the top 3 are the top 3 in the championship, with Jahan on pole, Jahan leading the championship, Pierre-Louis Chauvet in second in the championship by a point, and Guan Yu Zhou in third in the championship. So these 3 are battling it out for glory.
As the cars set off on their formation lap, we will take a look at the grid for you as the green flag flies. Here for race 1 at Yas Marina, it is Jahan Daruvala on pole position, PLC in car 3, alongside out of grid 2. GZ in 33 starts out of 3 alongside his teammate Dynamite Dino Beganovic. The third row of the grid is Roy Nissany, who starts along Patrick Pasma for Evans GP in car 4. On the 4th row of the grid, Ayumu Iwasa for Team High Tech alongside his teammate, the Czech Roman Stanek. Isaac Hadja, he finished on the podium yesterday, starts back in 9th alongside Chem Bolapasi. And then on the 5th row of the grid, we go to Kushmaini and Roberto Faria from Rio in South America. The North American driver comes next, the Mexican Rafael Villagomez, alongside Reese Ushijima, also for Team High Tech in car 13. Nicola Martinangeli for Team Motorscape, and the Al Kabasi from here in the Emirates is alongside. Then we go to the 9th row of the grid, Alexandre Martignon for John O'Hara's Pinnacle Motorsport, Matthias Luthen, the German. And the final row of the grid, it's the Roman, Alessio Daleda, and from Mallorca in the middle of the Mediterranean, Lorenzo Fluxa for Black Arts Racing in car 62. Did not set a time in qualifying this morning. And also we should point out that Rafael Villagomez is in a brand new car. The team have built a new car, a new chassis, replaced the engine, everything basically in car number 8 for the Mexican, who starts out of grid 13.
Interesting to see Amna Al-Kubaisi. She's actually made some time and she's actually qualified P16. Good on her, because she's been improving right through the weekend. She did start off a little tough, as you mentioned early on. She hasn't driven a car for a while, So it did take her a little while to get up to pace, but good to see her up to P16. We've been following her lap times as well through the races yesterday and day before, and she's been getting quicker and quicker as we now see the cars come around the last corner. Jehan Daruwala leading them onto the grid for the start.
And Amna's younger sister Hamda taking the victory in the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship right here just a few moments ago. Jahan leads the field around. Car 19 for the Mumbai Falcons to start on pole position. He is on the left of your screen, Chauvet to the right. An all-Prema Power Team second row of the grid. Guan Yu Zhou out of 3 and Beganovic out of 4. Again, Jahan Daruwala aims for the apex, which is some 500 metres down to the bottom right of your screen. The rest of the field pour round a fantastic field once again for the 2021 Asian Formula 3 Championship. We wait for Deleda and Lorenzo Fluxa to pull into grid 20, the green flag at the back of the grid. And we race here at Yas Marina Circuit. Great start by Chauvet, will lead the field down into turn 1. Has got the better of the pole sitter. No mistake, he has absolutely nailed the start. Chauvet, position 1, just launched down into turn 1. Leads the Daruwala in second place. And the Abu Dhabi Racing Prema Power Team drivers, they were in third and fourth, but Dino has already been passed. On the outside, Patrick up into fourth place. Fabulous start by Pierre-Louis Chauvet.
Brilliant start by Chauvet, but Patrick Pasma, you see the way he just hustled his way past Dino Beganovic there, and now he's getting passed by Roy Nissany. Nissany trying to make the best of that, and looks like he's made it stick. We saw, or has he? Dino's not making it easy for him.
Roy down the inside, goes side by side with Dino. Will the Israeli take the place? Almost certainly. Iwasa sits in behind. Fabulous start as predicted by Roy Nissany. The Team High-Tech driver from the Holy Land of Israel now goes P5 but has to drive down the left side of the circuit. He'll be slow on the exit of the chicane, but he's got the track position. Dino going backwards, and he's now being attacked by Ayumu Iwasa, the Red Bull Junior. Good start by him, and just behind, Kushmaini, also for the Mumbai Falcons, in great form in the opening stages of the race.
I do wonder how much of a difference the dust on the circuit made to the guys who were starting off the racing line, because we did see a few guys like Jehan and Zhu, particularly starting where they were in P1 and P3, struggle to get off the line. Zhu, of course, he managed to get around without too much trouble. He had Dino on his inside who let him be. Of course, teammates, they've got to work together. In the meantime, it looks like Pierre-Louis Chauvet has just inched open a bit of a gap to Jehan Daruwala, who's got Zhu not so far behind him. But good clean start, good clean first lap, everybody around nice and safely.
They come across the line for the first time. It is Chauvet from Daruwala, Guan Yu Zhou, Patrick into fourth, Roy Nissany, Dino Beganovic, Iwasa, Kush, Roman, and then Chembolok Pasi in 10th place. Lorenzo Fluxa has pulled into pit lane, a problem for the Spaniard on the opening lap of the race, and Daruwala just tries to catch the race leader, and we're just getting word from race control, an incident off screen, the safety car being called onto the circuit. Lorenzo Fluxa involved with an incident, or in an incident, with, we believe, Matthias Luton, or possibly his teammate Rafael Villagomez. So the two Spanish-speaking drivers in trouble on the opening lap of the race. The safety car is out, and that is the reason why. Rafael Villagomez is facing the wrong way at the exit of turn 6. Still sitting in the car by the looks of it. We'll try and get a replay of that if possible on the opening lap of the race. So Chauvet got the perfect start. Well, he still holds position 1, but he was looking to drive away. So in a few moments, when Villagomez's car is restarted or cleared, we will start again. For the moment, it is Chauvet from Daruwala, Guan Yu Zhou, Patrick, and Roy in position 5.
It would be interesting to see what actually happened there, because like you said, Villagomez stuck on the track. We're going to get a replay of it soon. because Lorenzo Fluxa started quite far away. There we see a replay of the start. We see how Jehan just struggled to get off the line. Dino and Chauvet on the inside, they managed to fly off the line, and Chauvet made it stick to grab the lead into turn 1.
You were exactly right, Aditya. Look at the dust as it flew on the inside of the circuit. Wheel spin from these Alfa Romeo powered Formula 3 cars. Louis Chauvet, I don't think it mattered though. He just got the perfect jump and he led down into turn 1. Guan Yu Zhou into 3rd place, and Dino, his teammate, went backwards.
Yeah, these cars, they don't have a launch control. It's all down to the drivers and their foot. Some of them said they're able to drop the clutch. Some of them need to drag the clutch a little bit to get the car going. It just depends on how much heat you've got in the tires. You can't really drop the clutch too quickly. We saw Zhu probably tried to do that yesterday and stalled. So it's quite tricky to get these cars off the line. But we have seen in other championships before, I think it was Formula 2 where we saw lots of drivers stalling, or was it FIA F3? Well, a lot of drivers stalled on the grid in one particular season, and they had to make a few changes to the cars to enable drivers to actually just get off the line.
The Auto Technica guys were telling us there was something of a not anti-stall, but sort of, and I won't say launch control, there was an electronic aid system. Not to get the jump, but simply to keep the engines alive. As you look at Lorenzo Fluxa down in pit lane, they have removed that item, which is exactly why Lorenzo yesterday and his teammate Rafael Villagomez stalled off the start. So it is much more manual for 2021. Incidentally, we are waiting word from the FIA. There is a proposed change to the Formula Regional Championships around the world. Currently the cars have a 270 horsepower, I won't say limit, if it's a safety car prepares to come in this lap, but they have around 270. It's quite a simple change to boost that up to in excess of 300. That has not yet happened. It is being talked about, and we certainly hope that happens, because another 30 or even 40 horsepower won't do these cars any harm, particularly because they are so difficult to pass.
And they're also so heavy. They weigh over 650 kilos. I think 680 at the start of the race with the driver. So another 30 horsepower won't do it any harm for sure. It'll also give us some great racing, and will be great for these drivers, because we've seen that the difference between these cars and the Formula 4 cars on this particular circuit is about 5 to 6 seconds. So another 2-3 seconds would be great for the drivers.
It's not about to happen this weekend. That is a discussion for another day, as the safety car, the Camaro supercar, which is a very common vehicle over here in the Emirates, prepares to pull into pit lane. Chauvet in position 1, Daruvala just behind, and it is Guan Yu Zhou. Remember, he won the first 2 races of the championship at Dubai last weekend. In position 3, he's also 3rd in the championship on 90 points. Second on the road is the series leader, who took a double pole position this morning, Jahan. And the race leader, Chauvet, 2nd in the series, but 1st on the road. As he brings the field around, Pierre-Louis Chauvet in car 3. Down into the final corner. We wait for the green flag. So Fluxa still down in pit lane, and for the 2nd time this afternoon, we race down into turn 1. Great start by Zhou. Gets very close to the back of Daruvala, and again Chauvet simply drives away from the rest of the field. Good corner speed from the Indian down into turns 1 and 2. Just has a little bit of breathing space from Guan Yu Zhou and Patrick Pasma. Car 4, position 4 for Evans GP, looking to get up on the podium this afternoon. Down through the corkscrew section.
Chauvet, he timed that restart so well.
Perfectly.
He did it yesterday as well. If you remember, the safety car came out in race 3 yesterday, and it was the same situation. It was Chauvet from Jehan, and he did the same thing. He sold Jehan that dummy. He slowed him down nice and proper. Oh!
Big move down the inside by Roy, trying to take Patrick. Runs off the road. Patrick off the line, off the circuit. The fin is out. Roy Nassani with one almighty send. It did not pay off. Pulls in behind Guan Yu Zhou. Pierre-Louis Chauvet did not see what happened. He continues to lead. And Jahan Daruvala, he was about to get pressured by Guan Yu Zhou. He's now got breathing space. Roy Nassani, controversially in P4. sideways on the exit. Beganovic behind. Then it's Iwasa, Maini, Stanek, and Bolek Barsi.
That was a massive lunge by Roy Nissany there down the inside. I don't think Pasma expected him to be there. It looks like they did make contact and Patrick Pasma's had to park his car.
Pasma has slowed. We'll see if he can get back to pit lane. That is a real disappointment for the Finn. Roy Nissany was looking racy. It's not for us to say. Roy Williams, F1 development driver, he's got much more experience than even you, Aditya, with respect. But gee, that was optimistic on the first lap after the restart. He had the speed to come good later in the race, but effectively that's ruined it for the both of them.
Yeah, it looks like the incident at turn 8 of lap 1 will be investigated after the race. That is the incident actually between Lorenzo Flutza and Rafael Villegomez. But yeah, Roy Nissany probably a little bit ambitious over there. He seemed like he was quite far behind, and Patrick Pasma just didn't see him coming.
So Pierre-Louis Chauvet, purple first and second sectors on this first lap on the restart. Darovala in second place. And look back to Dino Beganovic and Roy Nissany. Dino will try and dive down the inside. That incident, we are confirming to you, is under investigation between Pasma and Roy Nissany. There is Maini going through. Head of Bolek Barsi, Stanek, Hadja down in 10th place. Here's Isaac, who was on the podium yesterday.
Kushmaini's had a great couple of laps. He's actually moved up from 11th to 7th. Or is he 8th? He's 7th at the moment. So he's had a good few laps. I'm sure he's going to try and make a move on Ayumu Iwasa at some point. But he's just a little too far behind him at the moment. It's the high-tech guys of Roy Nissany, followed by the Abu Dhabi Prema car of Dino Beganovic and Ayumu Iwasa. But Nissany seems to just have fallen back a little bit into the clutches of Dino Beganovic. So Dino's definitely going to try and make a move on him at some point because he doesn't want to be pressured by Ayumu Iwasa too soon in the race.
Dino will be distracted by the fact that he saw Roy and Patrick come together. They went straight ahead down into turn 6. Roy took the place. He still sits ahead of Dino. That's not for us to decide. There is the Israeli going through. He had the speed. That's the frustrating thing. Into the final corner, just skates under brakes, does the Israeli. And Dino will try and get the toe down into turn 1. 230 k's an hour plus. Under racing conditions, Iwasa just behind. So there's Dino. Car 16 behind car 14. Team High Tech versus the Abu Dhabi racing team backed by the Prema Power Team Powerhouse. Maini, as you say, Aditya, great start into 7th. Chan Bolekbashi, the Doge back driver from Turkey. He's ahead of Roman Stanek. Hadja down in 10th. Ushajima, Faria, Marinangeli, Badignon, Amna, she's in 15th. Head of Deleda, Matthias Luton. Pasma, Fluxa, and Villegomez is out as Dino gets close to the back of Roy. Further back in the pack, Isaac tries to go around Roman Stanek. Evans GP versus Team High Tech. He's on the inside line. Roman takes the line. And then his teammate Reese Ushajima gets the momentum. Now Dino down the inside as Iwasa watches on. Just behind them is Kushmaini. Dino will surely take the place from the Israeli. Chauvet continues to pull away. Dino does it. He's up back into position 4. Nissany back to 5 as Isaac runs off the road.
Isaac seems to be having an almighty battle there with Roman Stanek. Stanek's not making it easy for him at all. They seem to have come together a little bit and Isaac's had to go straight off. We're watching them here right now. He's going to try and dive down the inside. Ooh, that was close.
Did you see the sand fly as he went off the racing line? A lock-up just behind from Roberto Faria, Reese Ushajima. In that battle as well, driving really well is Reese, just one place out of the points. Is the American-born Japanese-English driver for Team High Tech car 13. Iwasa in 6th place. Let's not forget Isaac Hadja. He is 4th in the championship. He has been in brilliant form all series thus far in the first 6 races. But now we see where he comes across the line down in 9th place.
He seems to have lost a little bit early on in the race. He started 9th. He did fall back down to 11th or 12th. Now he's back up to 9th. He's got some clear air in front of him to try and catch Cem Bolekbasi. And you also have to remember, this is when he's going to try and make use of the clear air to try and put in a quick time to actually put himself up on the grid for race 2. As you can see, most of the drivers are finding themselves in thick battles. While it is clearing out for the top 3, the rest of them actually need some clear air to put in a proper lap time. Otherwise, they're going to struggle to find themselves in a good place for race 2.
Bolokbashi has a big look down the inside of Kushmaini. This is Isaac Hadja on your screen, just ahead of Stanek and Ushijima. For Team High Tech, the silver cars, just ahead of Roberto Faria and Nicola Marinangeli. Iwasa, how good is the kid from Osaka? The Red Bull back junior in 6th place again.
He's got his head down. He's got Roy Nissany in front of him, his teammate. And like we saw yesterday, Nissany is not easy to pass, but Zhu made an almighty move around the outside. Iwasa, Ayumu Iwasa, he's got some work to do to try and get past his teammate Roy Nissany. Even though they're teammates, Roy doesn't make it easy for anyone.
Don't feel bad, Aditya. My Japanese is about as good as my Arabic. Let's disregard that because the kid can drive. He's comfortably in the points again. Ayumu Iwasa, he is also driving for Team High Tech, 7th in the series on 43 points. A big locker down into turn 16. That's the corner. You can see the lines going down. They have to control the wheel spin to try and have tyres, not so much for now, but for race 3 tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, particularly in that last sector. It's a long sector with a lot of tight corners, and the nature of the circuit is such that you've got to get the car turned and get on the gas as quick as possible. As we watch Kushmaini go into turn 1, it's a sharp left-hander, and you've got to get on the gas as soon as you can, and that puts a lot of load on the rear tires, taking the temps up pretty high, and then you start to lose your rear end, your tires start to degrade, and then that's when you start to drop times really, really quickly.
Gem just clips the ripple strip as they race down the hill through the corkscrew section. Staying with Kush, you can see the Grand Prix circuit at the top of your screen in the background. We're not using that this weekend. The United Arab Emirates Kart Racing Championship taking place on that part of the circuit. We will be back for the Grand Prix circuit for the final round in 2 weeks' time as Gem stays with Kush on this lap 8 of race 1, the Formula 3 Asian Championship. Round 3 for 2021. We've just ticked over half race distance. Bolokbashi tries to get the toe from Kush, who's in 7th place. The leaders go by the top of your screen. Chauvet 1.2 seconds back to Daruvala. Guan Yu Zhou, Beganovic in 4, Roy in 5, Iwasa, Maini, Bolokbashi, Hadja in 9, and Roman Stanek, the Czech for Team High Tech, in position 10. Kush goes by the Marina, somewhat reminiscent, if you use your imagination, of Monaco. I wonder where they were inspired to build this part of the incredible Yas Marina Formula 1 Grand Prix circuit.
You've got the corkscrew and you've got the Marina here, so why go anywhere else in the world when you can just come to the Yas Marina?
And if you can't beat them, copy them. Isn't that how the saying goes? Something similar.
No, but it's an absolutely spectacular circuit to be at. We're actually staying right outside the circuit, and it's a great view to wake up to. You wake up and look at the Big W Hotel. The colors of the circuit are so vibrant. The drivers love it. It's a great place to be.
Incidentally, Lorenzo Flutzer has rejoined the race and just set the fastest lap of anybody. He's down in 18th and last place, but has just clocked a 1:54.549, a tenth of a second faster than your race leader. There is the order at the top left of your screen. Chauvet from Daruvala, Zhou, Beganovic, and Roy in P5. There is Nissany coming under attack. That is his teammate, remember. Ayumu Iwasa in the Red Bull backed car. Kush just behind Bolokbashi. We do have a clean line. Oh, as Roy gets sideways on the exit of turn 6.
Hadjar has got the back of Bolokbashi already. It took him all of 2 laps, and now he's right behind Bolokbashi. I'm not sure if he managed to set. He did set a quick lap time behind as well as he caught these cars in front, but it looks like Kush is having to depend really hard from Gem. It's not going to be easy. Let's see who can be the last of the late breakers.
Down the inside, it becomes the outside. Kush holds him off. There is Isaac, tries to capitalise on the both of them. As soon as they get offline, the sand does fly here in Abu Dhabi. And Gem Bolokbashi, trying to make the move on Kush, is now under attack from Isaac. Just behind is Roman Stanek, now in position 10. It did not pay off for Gem Bolokbashi. There's Nicola Marinangeli going through just ahead of Alexandre Patignon, under Alcabasi and Alessio Deleta. So Bolokbashi has got the speed, so does Isaac, as you correctly pointed out, Aditya. But still ahead is Kushmaini.
Bolokbashi's got his mirrors full of Isaac Hadjar now, so that'll give Kush some breathing space, or not actually. Yes, it does give Kush a little bit of breathing space now for the next lap. Hadjar, I'm sure he wants to make his way past Chem as soon as he can. There's only 11 minutes left in this race. We know Isaac has the pace to win a race. He's unfortunately found himself down in 9th place. He's got a lot of places to make up. Watching Kushmaini there, who also is now trying to set a lap time to find himself in a good spot for race 2 tomorrow. As of now, like you said early on, Lorenzo Flutza flew on that lap. I think of course he had the incident on the lap early on and he had to come into the pit. Just as we see a cart go into the barrier in the background, did you see that? And Lorenzo Flutza's team, yes, they've come up with a brilliant strategy to actually put him out on new tires and do a proper qualifying run. And right now, he's finding himself on pole position for tomorrow.
Let's remind the viewers why, because the grid for race 2 is determined by the best lap times from race 1. Lorenzo Flutza, the fastest driver on the circuit, an incident on the opening lap of the race with his teammate Rafael Villagomez. That brought out the safety car. Pierre-Louis Chauvet continues to lead. The gap now goes out to 1.5 seconds back to the series leader Jahan, so that will change. If nothing does change in this race, Chauvet will inherit the lead of the championship. Hadja now closes in on the back of Jem. Kush with some breathing space. Down by the Marina. Into turn 16, they must control the wheel spin. Look at the turn in on Kushmaini's car. It almost looked as though he was going to miss the apex. He turned right and the car just hooked. It's turning in nicely, Kushmaini's Millbike Falcons car.
Yeah, indeed. Kush has been working on his setup for the last couple of days to try and get an ideal setup to suit his driving style. He is quite aggressive with his turn-in, with his steering input, and he seems to be now finding something that suits him, and it seems to be working well for him again. We saw he was quick in Dubai. We saw he struggled a little bit yesterday and day before, but he seems to be finding a rhythm all over again.
Kush's car, that was just fantastic. That car is absolutely hooked up in the front end. Just massive front turn, and the rear went with it.
Yeah, I think he's starting to enjoy it now. I think he's starting to enjoy driving this car. But it's good. You know, a lot of these young drivers now have the opportunity to work with professional teams, professional engineers after coming out of a championship like Formula 4. And like we've said before, not so long ago in go-karts. And as we watch Isaac Hadjar.
Now he gets the toe from Bolokbashi. Will he dive down the inside? Pulls to his left, to your right, locks the front left. Bolokbashi's got track position, and Isaac simply has to get out of the throttle.
It looked like Chem almost stopped his car. He had to stop himself and Isaac over there.
And look at the time they've lost to Kush.
A lot of time. Kush has taken full advantage of that and pulled away from some potential trouble.
Here's another opportunity just a little bit further back. A massive grandstand towering over the circuit. Underneath the shade, and now they go by the Marina one more time. Kush in position 7. There's Iwasa going through. At the bottom of your screen, another good ride. He did finish 4th in race 3 yesterday. Chauvet, their gap is 1.9 seconds. The race leader, Pierre-Louis Chauvet, looking good here this afternoon. 8 minutes just over for Chauvet to take the victory.
It seems like Chauvet, we're looking at him now, has pulled a gap to Jahan, and he seems quite comfortable with that gap. It seems to have not changed actually for a while.
No, it has actually. He's pulled 3/10. Sorry, Aditya. 1.9. It's as they cross the line, as you were speaking, 2.2 seconds. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, there is Daruvala going through for the moment. He's still the series leader. He will lose that in 7 minutes and 40 seconds time, it would seem, to the driver on your screen. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, the Travel Planet Pinnacle-backed Car 3 on a voyage to victory here this afternoon. He races down the back straight. It's not over yet, though. Daruvala needs every possible point. Of course, we've got 18 Formula 1 Super License points up for grabs in the Formula 3 Championship, beautifully presented by the Pinnacle Motorsport team. But the points so important. Of course, last year we had Pietro Fittipaldi, who made his Formula 1 debut just up the road in Bahrain at the end of 2020. And Nikita, he will line up for the Haas team in, where does the season start? Is that confirmed yet? Bahrain, is that official? I read something about Portimao is now at risk. Nevertheless, Nikita racing with us in the Formula 3 Asian Championship 12 months ago, about to line up in the Formula 1 World Championship.
It's a great platform for young drivers. We're definitely going to see some drivers from this particular grid as well in Formula 1 sometime in the near future. Hopefully sooner rather than later. These drivers are extremely talented.
As Lorenzo comes back into pit lane, he has stepped out of the car. He has done a reasonable time. It may well be beaten as the fuel load lightens. As you look at the Pinnacle Motorsport Car 3 of Chauvet, rounds the final corner to start lap 13 here this afternoon. Most likely 4 laps to the checkered flag. 6:06 left on the clock. The gap 2.7 seconds. He's pulling away from Jahan. Guan Yu in third, Dino 4, Roy in position 5. Bolokbashi, Hajar, Stanek, Faria, Ushijima. There is the Evans GP driver, car 6, on the podium multiple times already. Isaac, he won't make it there this afternoon though. He's down in 9th place ahead of Roman Stanek. And Reese Ushijima now falls back to 12th despite being in the points in the earlier part of the race. Jahan Daruvala has not given up on this though. The gap 2.7 seconds. That down the corkscrew section of the circuit is where they can make up time. But now, as we look back to Kush, his teammate, Guan Yu Zhou senses that second place might be on for the driver who won the first 2 rounds off the championship at Dubai.
Guan Yu Zhou is definitely going to try and reel Jahan in soon, but I think right now all of them are focusing on setting in a quick lap time to find themselves in a good place for tomorrow. And we were just talking about Flutza. We just saw his car in the pit. I was looking at the times and it looks like he's provisionally on pole for tomorrow with that lap time that he set.
Wow. Did they lighten the fuel load as well? Oh, Lorenzo on pole position provisionally for tomorrow morning's race 2.
But can Zhu or Chauvet or Jahan do anything about it at all? We just saw Zhu and Beganovic set their fastest first sectors, but lost a fair bit of time in their second sector, so that's going to hurt them. But Flutza and the team, what a strategy there.
It's been a forgettable, disappointing championship thus far. A single point in Dubai in race 3 for Lorenzo, straight out of the Spanish Formula 4 Championship in 2020. But he's looking good to start from pole position. We don't have reverse grids, and actually Formula 1, I can't believe they're actually considering doing it. Nevertheless, not up for us to decide. This is as close as we'll possibly get. Of course, this is a 3-race format deliberately. And just as we say that, Isaac, a 154.493. So Hadja takes pole position for race 2, away from young Lorenzo at the moment. Let's concentrate on the battle for the race win here this afternoon. Jahan Daruvala in second place. He's now 3.3 seconds back. He won't do it unless a catastrophe is inflicted upon the race leader, Chauvet. Jahan locks up the front left, going down into turn 6. And Zhou back in third place. Good drive from Zhou, good intelligent drive. He needs points for the championship. After dominating the first 2 rounds, drops back to third on 90 points, but will pick up 15 in 3 minutes' time if nothing changes over the remaining 2 laps.
Yes, and if nothing does change, we are going to be halfway through this championship with Chauvet in the lead of the championship, Daruvala in second, and Zhou in third. And we've seen Zhou has led this championship, Jahan has led this championship, Chauvet has led this championship. It's going to be a fight till the end, and we're watching, is that Jem who's just made his way past Kush finally?
Indeed he does. Kush goes back to 8. Bolokbashi, the Doge, backed. Young Turk, now up into 7th place. Good drive from Bolokbashi. Less than 2 years as a professional car racer, he won the Formula 1 Esports Championship here in Abu Dhabi at the end of 2017.
Jem has been driving really well all season long.
He's quick. He really is quick. He did admit to us, let's be fair, let's be honest in fact, he did admit, yes, he's done thousands of laps on the simulator, top level simulation systems as well, but he says, no, it's not the real thing. It's just not the same.
It's not the same, but I can tell you, it's not that bad. It's good for muscle memory. If you just drive round and round the same circuit, it is actually really good for your muscle memory. It's really good for memorizing the circuit. And there are some tricks you can actually find on the sim that you won't find when you're driving around the circuit in the car. So it is quite interesting to see how much simulators have evolved over the years.
This may well be the last lap of the race, depending on when Pierre-Louis Chauvet crossed the line. Coming up to 90 seconds remaining in the race, most likely the penultimate lap. It is a 30-minute race. This is lap 15. Chauvet, 3.5 seconds back to Jahan, and Guan Yu in third place. We come back tomorrow morning and race 2 and race 3 tomorrow afternoon as the field now do spread out in the dying stages of race 1, the Formula 3 Asian Championship.
This should be the last lap. I think the drivers are on the last lap right now, looking at the time screen. So it looks like it's an easy win for Chauvet, unless something goes drastically wrong. We did see Dino actually go through something drastically wrong on the last lap. So you never know. It's not over till it's over.
And provisionally, Isaac Hadjar on pole position for race 2 tomorrow morning. The dying stages of race 1 here at the Yas Marina Circuit, the Formula 3 Asian Championship. There is the race leader. There will be one more lap. Slides on the exit. No, it's that checkered flag. It is indeed Pierre-Louis Chauvet who takes the victory here this afternoon. Beats the timing screen, confuses us up here in the commentary box. Sets the fastest lap of the race on his final tour as well. Jahan Duruvela in second and Guan Yu Zhou third. From Dino and Roy, Pierre-Louis Chauvet takes his third victory in the Formula 3 Championship of Asia as the clock ticks down now to 0. It matters little. Chauvet, he deserved it. Nothing was likely to change had we have done a hypothetical extra lap. Chauvet takes the victory and secures pole position for race 2 tomorrow morning.
On that last lap, a 154.3, he just waited till the end, till the fuel load was light, and he properly sent the lap in. Super job by Chauvet. We criticized his start multiple times because he had rather poor starts in Dubai, if you remember, but he's absolutely nailed his last 2 starts. Today, what a fantastic start, starting from the inside. We don't know if dust played much of a factor for guys like Jahan and Zhu, but Dino and Chauvet down the inside had fantastic starts. We saw a lot of dust, but nonetheless, what a drive by Chauvet. Just pulled away from Jahan. Nothing Jahan could do about it, and took the checkered flag.
Perfect day thus far for the Menton-born French driver. Takes the victory, fastest lap, a 154.325 on his final tour. Guan Yu Zhou with the fastest third sector of the race, just misses out on pole position. So we believe the grid tomorrow will be Chauvet, Hadjar and Flutzer. Approximately. No, Guan Yu Zhou will be in that mix as well. It matters little for the moment. Let's celebrate with Pierre-Louis Chauvet, who takes his third victory in the series. And with that, the championship lead coasts back to the pits by the incredible marina, the unfortunately still empty grandstands in the background. But it will be Chauvet who will stand on the top step of the podium in a few moments' time. There's the sad side of Patrick's car in the background, out on the opening lap. Rafael Villagomez also retired. Lorenzo went back out, set a lap, and will start somewhere near the front of the grid tomorrow. So much support for Pierre-Louis Chauvet straight out of the Formula Regional European Championship in 2020. Will line up for the Jensen Motorsport team in the FIA F3 Championship. Once again, we say good afternoon to Andreas and Esther Jensen. Again, your boy has done the job. They're watching live from their base in Switzerland. Pierre-Louis Chauvet PLC in car 3 goes position 1.
It's turning out to be quite a battle between these 3 guys now. You don't know who it's going to be. All 3 of them are quick in Dubai. Particularly Zhu and Chauvet last week in Dubai was super quick. Jahan knows when he goes back to Dubai, he's got a little bit of ground to make up. He's He struggled a little bit on the first weekend, but he's definitely made it back up this time here in Abu Dhabi.
Fantastic scenes down in Parc Fermé. There's John O'Hara in the background, Tristan, the CEO of Travel Planet, who is backing his young protege. Former motorcycle racer, incidentally, is Tristan. And we also give credit to his parents, Sebastian and Sophie, who have done so much. Sebastian, his father, incidentally, former French or European downhill mountain bike champion, third in the World Championships back in 2003. Speaking there with Tristan. There is Guan Yu, valuable points for the championship in third place. We're about to pass the halfway point of the championship. Guan Yu from Shanghai in China, so many laps in Formula 2, Formula 3 in the past. And of course, behind what was the Renault, now the Alpine Formula 1 car. We'll see him in action in 2021 in the fastest single-seaters in the world. There's Jahan, loses the series lead, but home in second. It's not by much. After 7 races, we have got only three race winners. The victory shared between Jahan, Pierre-Louis and Guan Yu.
Yeah, but now with Pierre-Louis starting on pole for one race tomorrow, Jahan on pole for the next race tomorrow, we've got 2 races. It's going to be interesting to watch because Zhou, again, starting P2 on race 2. It's going to be interesting because, again, these 3 guys are fighting for championship, but then we've got young Isaac Hadja who really wants to win a race, and he put in a proper lap in this race just now to, I think, provisionally put him up in 3rd place for race 2 tomorrow. So he's going to be one to watch. This is his last 2 races in the championship, if I'm not mistaken. He definitely wants to win. He's got so close. He got so close early on. But let's go catch a word now with the winners, Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Down to you, Jake.
Well, Pierre-Louis, I think it's fair to say that your starts are no longer your Achilles heel. That was an absolute firecracker launch. Just talk us through those early couple of laps.
Yeah, in fact, I found a procedure yesterday in race 3, and now I try to do it every start, and it works pretty well. So, yeah, I'm really happy. Then I wasn't sure about the pace, but my engineer was informing me about the gap, let's say, with Daruvala. And every lap I was putting him like 2/10, so I was quite confident.
So now this puts you very narrowly into the lead of the points, of course, because it's so close at the top. Is this going to turn into a title assault now? Do we think we can keep this lead?
Yeah, I think now the top 3 is like quite, is identified, let's say. So now I will push as much as possible, but I'm happy about this race. I will take race by race. Yeah.
Congratulations, your 3rd win of the season. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's see if we can get a word with Jahan Darawala, the Indian star who came into the race, of course, as the championship leader. A hearty congratulations to PLC. Jahan, not a bad race all in all. It was a very tricky run to the first corner, but it looked as though Chauvet just had the edge on you. Just talk us through the race from your point of view.
Yeah, to be fair, the start wasn't that bad. I think he just had quite a good one, and yeah, it was pretty difficult to follow. I think he was pretty quick, and yeah, to be honest, I wasn't fast enough to win today, so P2 it is.
But obviously the form of the car is still very strong. What can you make an adaptation or a change heading into tomorrow's 2nd race?
I don't really know. I don't feel that strong in the races. I feel like over one lap I'm better than I'm in the races, so yeah, let's see where we can improve.
Another brilliant podium. Congratulations, Jahan.
Thanks.
And we'll grab a word with the Alpine F1 test driver, Guan Yu Zhou. Not a bad race either there in 3rd position. It looked like a pretty good start and some good battles early on, but you managed to hold out 3rd position. Just talk us through the race from your perspective.
Yeah, firstly, I think that race was more trying to get a lap time for race 2, to be honest. Couldn't try to stay attack behind the guys, wasting too much the front tires. So I have to really sacrifice my lap time and doing a little bit more cool push. And in the end, the last 3 laps, give everything I got. And last lap, we got to P2 for the fastest lap in race 2. So that's good, and give it everything, and it was quite difficult out there.
The track temperature was so high towards the end there. The pieces of rubber that were coming off the tyre were the size of wristwatches. Are you guys going to be able to focus in and make some adaptations to the car to make the tyre wear a little bit less?
Definitely. I mean, our car this weekend or today wasn't the strongest out there, and the guys who won the race had a better car in the race distance. So we have to analyze the data and have a better look. I'm pretty confident the team will figure it out for tomorrow's 2 races.
Looks like tomorrow's looking good. Go and enjoy that podium.
Thank you.
Certainly a battle between three, Pierre-Louis Chauvet, Jahan Daruvala and Guan Yu Zhou, the 3 different winners thus far in the series after 7 races. Pierre-Louis Chauvet takes his 3rd victory in the 2021 Formula 3 Asian Championship. Daruvala comes home 3.8 seconds behind Chauvet and Guan Yu in 3rd place. Dino finishes in 4th from Roy Nissany. Remember that move on the opening lap of the race beats home his high-tech teammate Ayumu Iwasa. Good drive from Cham. Comes home 7th. Gets the better of Kush. Isaac on the podium yesterday. A quick lap, but finishes in 9th. And the Czech, Roman Stanek, the final point in 10th place.
Yeah, it was just one of those first races that we've seen over the last couple of race weekends. The first race, for some reason, doesn't seem to throw out as much action as the others, doesn't it? I think it's got a lot to do with the mix of tire strategies, because in race 2, we're going to see mixed tires up and down the field, and the same in race 3, and that throws out a fair bit of racing for us. But this first race, once again, it was a little bit down the field. We saw that that move by Roy Nissany, which ended up in a little bit of contact with Patrick Pasma. But apart from that, I guess the drivers were more or less kind of just finding their way around the circuit, trying to set a quick lap for qualifying for race 2.
There's no question of that, Aditya. When the tyres go down to the canvas and they're sliding around, that's when we have a race.
Jahan, in fact, we just spoke to him as he was walking to the podium. He said he was struggling with his rear tires. So
already
struggling with his rear tires. He's possibly got to use these tires for another race tomorrow.
Guan Yu Zhou in 3rd place. Jahan comes 2nd. It's PLC in car 3. Goes position 1 for the 3rd time in the Asian Championship for Formula 3 for 2021. Thanks for your company. We'll be back tomorrow morning with Race 2 live from Yas Marina, the Asian F3 Championship. We'll see you tomorrow.